Hey guys and girls, I'm James and welcome to my channel. Today we're taking a look at the Holystone HS165. But before we do, let me tell you, I got the HS720G that just came out, and it's got a multiple axis gimbal. This is Holystone's most famous drone ever, is the 720E. And this, now they've improved it. Well, that's kind of like what they did with the HS165 when it came out. It's a really good drone. You're probably saying, James, how come you hadn't reviewed it and you've had it for over a year? Well, it's because not too long after I got this one, the HS175D came out. And even though these two drones are really similar, this one has brushless motors and this one's are brushed motors. And you may say, what's the difference? Well, brushed motors are like two brooms spinning inside of a magnet. There's constant heat and contact, and they can wear out faster. Whereas the brushless motors are like two magnets spinning inside of each other, kind of like the old spinners that you could spin like this and they'd spin forever. It's because there's less friction and less heat in a brushed motor. But the main thing is these gears. So this one doesn't come with prop guards. So inside here is this little gear, and if something ever stops these props from spinning, it strips that gear out. To do that, you've got to take this all apart, replace the gear, put it back together, and sometimes that's more trouble than what the drone is worth.
So here's the price for the 165 on Amazon right now at $154.99, but if you look, the 175D is only $25 more.
It does have a 720p camera in the front, and there's no gimbal that moves up and down like the 175D, but it's also very well protected. And if you're flying a beginner GPS drone, you may want to have a gimbal that's protected. And you may say, what's a GPS drone? Well, a GPS drone means it's using all the satellites to hold its position. And I'll show you how to use the app and set the gyro calibration and the compass calibration in a minute. But let's go fly it, and then I'll come back for my final review. So I'm flying it non-GPS right now, so the wind's going to try to catch it. I want to show you the difference. Actually, it's holding pretty good for not, yeah, see the wind catch it? So that's in speed 1. It's actually pretty quick in speed 1. It's really quiet. All right, there's speed 2. Again, these are brushed motors. So now it's in GPS mode. So now it's holding it. You hear that beep? So you see how it's just holding? I'm not moving the controller at all. Let me bring it down a little bit. So right now, as you see, I'm not holding the boat. It's kind of toilet bowling. So this is what toilet bowling is doing, because it wants me to reset the gyro calibration. So if it's ever doing this on you and it's bothering you, this is called toilet bowling. So that means I didn't reset the calibrations. Sometimes it's resetting the gyros on the controller. That's not a bad toilet bowl. That's a really short toilet bowl. Sometimes you'll see a really bad toilet bowl where it's going in huge circles. It's just trying to find itself in the GPS. It's nothing bad. It doesn't mean it's malfunctioning or anything like that. That's a good example. But you can still fly it. It'll still control.
And here's what some pictures look like. The color saturation is really good on the camera for being 720p. Now the video, it's kind of shaky. And here's what it looks like when you're looking through your phone to see what it's flying. You can kind of see how it's glitzy, and the camera doesn't work very good on the video, but it takes really good pictures.
Beautiful day for as windy as it is. Man, most times people say they're having problems with the Holystone drones is because they don't do a pre-start checklist. As you see, everyone I've ever had, I've never had any problems with. Spin, let it roll left and right. Got good response. It's so much fun to get something out of something so inexpensive. Can't believe there's no golfers out yet. All right, guys, let's go in and I'll give you my. All right, let's see what she weighs in at. She weighs in at 173 grams, which is just a little bit more than a medium-sized banana at 160 grams. So as with a lot of Holy Stone drones, it comes with a really nice zippable case, a nice handle on the top. When you open it up, it's got a nice zipper compartment, and it's gonna have extra props and screws in here. 2 chargers and a handy dandy screwdriver. It's going to come with the remote. Inside this box you'll have 2 batteries and 2 chargers, and the light will be red and then it'll turn green when it's done charging. It takes about an hour. It says you get 22 minutes flight time. You're really going to get about maybe 16, 17 minutes with a 880 milliwatt amp battery. So on the drone, it's foldable, folds out really easy. When you're replacing these props, make sure these props are put on the right ones. There's an A and a B, and they have a different angle of attack for the props. It's a 720p camera in the front. It's a 2.4 gigahertz, and it doesn't move up and down, but you can't damage a gimbal, or you can't really hardly damage this camera, which is really good for beginners, because that's the main thing. That it's got nice lights on the bottom. I'll show you those in a minute. And how you turn it on is this button right here. Like again, these are brushed motors. These are not brushless motors. Like I said, there's a gear in here, and it doesn't come with prop guards, so be very careful when you're flying it. If you hit something and it stops this, it will break one of these gears. And the battery pulls off in the back and slides in like this. On the remote, this flips up to hold your phone. You turn it on right here. And then this is your GPS switch. So if it starts to toilet bowl on you or it's acting really weird, maybe it's getting some outside interference, practice on turning the GPS off. After you've already got it calibrated. This is your trim button. If you're not using GPS and it seems to be drifting to the right or to the left, you hold down the trim button and push it in the opposite direction of what you want it to go. Your return to home, takeoff and landing, and headless mode. Don't ever use that. This is your speed button. So if you go outside and you want to go to high speed right away if there's any wind at all, a short press takes a photo and a long press takes a video. And it doesn't take batteries. You charge it by hooking up the connector right here. It's this Holy Stone HPV4 app. So but before you do anything, it's a Wi-Fi drone. So you turn the drone on. So these will be blinking fast, and then they'll start blinking slow whenever it's connected. Once that's done, go to your settings. And remember, it's a Wi-Fi drone. You may want to make yourself a pre-start checklist. And you see Holy Stone HPV, and now it's connected to the Wi-Fi. And when it's connected, you go back to the app, and then the camera's on. See? 720p camera. This is your maps. So when you're flying around and you lose track of the drone and you want to fly it back, and sometimes it's hard to see which direction's the front and the back, even with these lights, if it's bright outside. So you can just fly it back by seeing where you're at on here. I wouldn't use the app. I would use all the controls on the phone. The return to home and takeoff and everything, and the speed works much better on the remote than on the app. But now the compass hasn't been calibrated. And what compass calibration means, all the satellites want to connect to this drone and tell it where it's at. But right now, the drone doesn't know which direction it's going. So to enter the compass calibration, you push up here. And now you see they're blinking like this, and then you spin it 3 times until you see these lights turn solid white. Sometimes it doesn't even take 3 times. Zip, it beeped. Now they're solid white. Now for vertically to calibrate it, you hold it up and spin it 3 times. There, now it's calibrated. Once it's calibrated and you want to unlock the motors, you push in and down on the controllers, and their motors will spin. If you push this, you can take off, or you can push that, and she's ready to fly. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching my review of the Holy Stone 165. I think I've done about 20 Holy Stone drones now, and I had this one on the shelf, so I had to review it. It's a fun little drone, flies really well. It's just a little bit older and it has a little bit less features than the 175D, and this one's just a little bit more money. So, as always, if you got something out of this, please like and subscribe. And don't forget, I've got the review on the HS165G coming out. If there's another drone out there, especially a Holystone, that I haven't reviewed and you want me to review it, just please leave a comment on the bottom and I'm sure they'll send me one. They didn't send me this one, I actually bought this one. This is one of my first Holystone drones I ever bought and had a lot of fun with it. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.